Greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. Best greetings from my laboratory, and I will be talking today about honeybees and about wild bees, about solitary bees, about social bees. Today, this stream is devoted to bees, world of bees and wasps. And I decided to tell you this story especially for beekeepers. Yesterday, I had a stream and a talk about Toastmasters English-speaking clubs. And today, this stream is devoted to, I hope so, Ukrainian Beekeepers English-speaking club. Just, because I recognize that lovers of entomology and wildlife biology much less than beekeepers in Ukraine. Officially, it's considered that about 400,000 not specimens, but beekeepers are working, living in Ukraine. Maybe at least half of them, 200,000 beekeepers in Ukraine. It's quite a lot. How many of them young? How many of them older age? That's a story for special discussion. But nevertheless, there are some active Ukrainian beekeepers of Ukraine who are making their YouTube stories. And so we know about them a little bit more than before when we didn't have social media, when we didn't have Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. Now, many Ukrainian beekeepers do like to show their faces, do like to show their honeybees, their beehives somewhere in Ukraine. And so they're devoted beekeepers. So they're hungry for money. They're hungry for new knowledge in beekeeping. Greetings to Maxim. Are you beekeeper? I'm not sure, because this is a YouTube channel, and so YouTube channel, sometimes people watching just scrolling the screen of smartphone. That's why I'm translating my video in two ways, just for experiment to understand which channel is working better. Usually smartphone in vertical position is working better because more people can watch it, because again, many people just scrolling, smartphone, still laying on the bed and just lazy watching new videos. I'm all right. Maxim, are you beekeeper? Are you not beekeeper? What is your profession? This is my story, this is my conversation, this is my discussion devoted to beekeepers of Ukraine. And I will be trying to tell you story more slowly, because this will be a lesson for beekeepers. Because not many beekeepers and not many young people and old people as well speak English in Ukraine and other neighboring countries. All right, yes, so yeah, just working with beekeeping equipment. Maxim is just making some messages on smartphone, but he's a master of beekeeping equipment. He's making just boxes, just chambers for beehives. But now some young people are devoted to their job, and they're devoted to hope for their better future. And to have better future, you need to speak English. And this is like a goal, like the aim of your self-development. I'm trying to speak slowly to be better understood, because sometimes some people saying they do not understand very fast speech. If I'm speaking quickly, some people do not understand. That's why I'm trying to speak a little bit slowly, like slow tape recorder. But nevertheless, I'm just joking for sure. I'm just joking for sure, just to invite more people for the audience. Because last time when I was talking about Toastmasters Ukrainian English speaking clubs. About how many? 50 people were watching me all together, but in the second part of my speech. So audience is just gathering together. So far so good. English speaking skills are very important for self-development and for development of your knowledge of English language. That's why if you know some words in English, try to type your question in English in comments. This will be hello in English. This will be best greetings in English. And these words will be coming slowly to your mind. These words will be part of your thoughts. These words will be coming directly to your mind. So write comments in English. Try to think in English. For instance, I've been in different countries, and in some countries I have not been speaking any other language, only English. I said sometimes, my microscope didn't speak Chinese. My microscope didn't speak Japanese. Microscope was speaking English, and I was speaking only English with my colleagues abroad. So that's why English speaking skills, English speaking writing skills, reading skills, listening skills are very, very important. Ciao, Maxim. Try to study English, and you will be better involved in English speaking community. Nevertheless, some audience is coming. For beginning, as far as I'm showing different collections on my channel, I will be showing you just wasps and honeybees. Wasps and honeybees I can show you as alive. Some of my wasps are sitting in a chamber, and they're alive. They're belonging to paper wasps, Palistes paper wasps. About 10 of my paper wasps are alive in special chamber. I'm making special observations for them. But these wasps were in collection. Of course, they're dead. They're not alive. So try to study English to understand my speech and try to write comments, asking any questions about biology, even about life, in English language, in subtitles, in a chat, or in comments. I can quickly answer your question if this question will be in English. So we will have just living online conversation. You see, I'm speaking slowly to better understood. Do you understand me? I hope so. So sometimes you need to open your mouth more. Don't speak like this, that you are speaking English very well. Try to speak with open mouths to be better understood. And with not low voice, but high voice. Very well, Jenny. Very well. So what kind of wasps can you recognize here? These are very big wasps. Okay, I can speak faster, for sure. These are paper wasps. They're very aggressive. They're very dangerous. They can sting you several times because these wasps belonging to family Vespidae paper wasps, and these are hornets. Hornets, big hornets. Do you know them? Have you seen them in your village? Have you seen them in your city? Have you seen them near your apartment? Maybe you have seen them on your balcony. It's possible. Because last year I've seen them near my apartment very often. Because they were living somewhere on someone's balcony. And we were going to some shrubs to feed on liquid of trees juice. So they need some honey? No, they need some juice. They need juice, they need some liquid, they need some water, either from water resource or they come for tree, for some shrubs. They can cut branches of trees and they're sipping very sweet liquid of juice. So these are big European hornets, and this is a part of their nest. Yesterday in my yesterday's stream, I showed the full big nest, which I keep in chamber for safety, because some beetles can come and eat all my hornets and all my nests. So that's why all these boxes were covered with plastic. So no hollows. Otherwise, some tiny beetles can come inside and can eat my collection. I am trying to be very careful. But I collected these hornets about 3 years ago when I was a wasps hunter, when I was actually hornets hunter. Because someone near Kyiv in Borispol ordered me to destroy the nest of hornets, because it was on a roof of his building, his private apartment. And a hornet's nest was quite a big, like saucer ball, quite a big one, about this size. Hornet's nest was like this one, quite a big one. And it was on the roof of building. And of course they were flying very fast. Daytime, evening time, they were buzzing, making a noise. And possibly they could be aggressive, protecting their nest. That's why they did not survive. I collected all of them for my collection. Do you know how many hornets did I collect in the nest of this size? European hornet, about ball, 20 centimeters diameter ball. It was totally 400 hornets, and 150 new big queens, 150 queens, and approximately 50 males or drones of hornets. Totally 450 hornets all together. Quite a lot. And also I collected the nest, pretty heavy nest, about 1 kilo or even more. And during the following 7 days, maybe 50 or more hornets hatched, emerged from their cells, because I collected the nest, collected all these cellulose or paper foundations, all these cells with larvae and with pupae, and hornets just hatched. Very fresh one, very young one. And I recorded a special video about them with a very, very big zoom. I showed just picture of head, not my head, the picture of head of hornets on a very close distance with my camera. Now you have opportunity to use your camera on smartphone. I use this small camera, another one but like this, Canon Panasonic. So with opening with camera and with zoom, you can enlarge the picture of human being or just insect, honeybee or hornet, and I did very big portrait of hornets, you know, for my YouTube channel. So you can try to search my channel for some stories from hornet's nest. And also, if you have opportunity to visit Apiary, beekeeping farm or Apiary, you can record with your smartphone, with your very simple camera, of a smartphone. You can record it quite a big pictures with big magnification, with big zoom, the picture of flying honeybees and maybe some wasps as well. Because wasps sometimes they're trying to come to the beehive to steal the honey. But honeybees are protecting their hives because they have guards, they have foragers, different bees. Foragers are coming to forage nectar and come with nectar to hive. But they have guards, they have boxers, they have guards near the entrance of honeybee beehive. And guards sitting near the entrance and waiting for intruders. If some hornets come in to the entrance of the beehive, honeybees guards will attack them, or even if a human being or just some animals come in to the entrance of a beehive, they can be attacked as well. If you don't have a whale, special mask, if you don't have special beekeeping equipment, to be near beehive sometimes can be dangerous, because you may have not very pleasant smell after smoking, for example, or after drinking. And honeybees, they do not like smoking person. Usually, beekeeper is not smoking, and this is very good habit. Honeybees do not like smoking beekeeper, and drinking beekeeper is not favorite for honeybees because they smell of smoke, the smell of alcohol, and can attack this beekeeper, or they can attack this intruder who try to open beehive and maybe steal honey. So that's why sometimes honeybees can be aggressive, because the guards were protecting the honey which they collected from fields, which they collected from flowers all around. And you as a beekeeper want to open and take it off. If you're doing it very carefully, if you're doing it very slowly, carefully, and even if you are with sleeves, with beekeeping equipment, with veil and mask, you're well protected. Otherwise, honeybees will attack you if they are aggressive. If they are busy during the forage season, during the forage time, they're very busy, so they come into field, coming back. So we do not worry about sometimes if beekeeper opening the beehive. But if there is no flowers, for example, in August, in September, beekeepers should be more careful, because honeybees will be more aggressive. They have collected nectar, they have made honey. So, but no honey more, no nectar more in the field. So that's why we are protecting the honey from intruders, from stealers who want to steal the honey. That's why we will attack you and can sting you just once. Because honeybees, they are losing their life after the sting. Honeybees workers, they're stinging just once. Stinging and dying. Do you understand me, Jenna and others? I hope so. I'm not translating my speech. I'm trying to speak slowly about precise subjects about honeybees and wasps to be better understood by beekeepers, young beekeepers, beginners of beekeepers, some students, beekeepers, and just general public audience. Because still, despite there are many beekeepers in Ukraine, they are not visible always on the horizon. Not many of them in a city, because majority of beekeepers were living in rural areas, in a village, in a small city, at least in some places near the fields, near the rivers, near forests, near flower resources, near food resources for honeybees. Sometimes I've seen some publications, I will tell you stories about them later, that in some countries, like United States of America, hello to United States if someone watching us from United States, sometimes from Germany, from France, some people, some devoted beekeepers, some interested people just keeping beehives in a big city, sometimes even on the roof of multi-floor buildings, as we say, even on the floor of very high skyscrapers in Manhattan, in New York, and somewhere near the White House in Washington City. That's a possibility. That's possible to keep small amount of beehives in a big city. And honeybees, we have no choice. We have no choice. We will be searching for water around. We will be searching for food resources. We will be searching for flowers in parks, in gardens, in some small fields in a big city. But flowers biodiversity is not so high in a city, for sure, because we can say this is just city of skyscrapers, Manhattan. How many parks? Not many, only Central Park. By the way, it's not a huge park. Honeybees can collect flower nectar maybe during a couple of weeks. And after that, beekeepers should feed these honeybees with sugar liquid or with additional maybe glucose liquid, because honeybees will not survive without flowers. They will be starving. They will be hungry for water and for nectar. That's why I do not believe in very good honey which can be collected in a big city. Even Kyiv city, capital of Ukraine, is considered to be a very green city. Some areas of city are green, but not all time covered with flowers. I know that, for instance, I've seen some cities in Turkish Republic. Even my Turkish colleagues told me in one very famous city, the governor of this city, Turkish city, was very famous because he made order to plant a lot of flowers, a lot of trees, and now this city is City of Flowers. And this governor is named Governor of Flowers of this Turkish city. Maybe in this city, honeybees will be not hungry. They will collect honey for a long period. But Turkish citizens are very careful about trees, very careful about shrubs, and they are making very special additional irrigation. They are supplying water very carefully to each plant, to each tree, to each shrub, to each small flower field. So that's why everything is around in the parks green, and all trees and shrubs with flowers. But in our usual cities in Ukraine, not many trees are supplied with irrigation. Some years, but this last season was very hot, so some trees were supplied with water from cars. Some cars were coming with cans and supplied just additional irrigation from their cans, one by one tree by one. But what about flowers? Flowers are usually more common near apartments, buildings. Very few flowers, and all around just a green grass, and green grass just cut it with special machines. So no flowers at all. So honeybees will obviously be starving. Honeybees and bumblebees and wild solitary bees and wild social bees will be starving in the city because not many flowers in a city, not very high biodiversity of flowers, so it's difficult for solitary and social bees, for solitary and social wasps to survive in a big city. In a small city as well, only in a city near big forest, near big some agricultural and natural fields. That's actually a rare case in Ukraine. All fields around big cities and around small villages are covered with agricultural crops. So honeybees are intended to fly, to forage for some nectar from agricultural crops like sunflower, that's good. Buckwheat, that's very good, but not very often. If I try to go to soybean, no flowers at all. And of course, if we are coming to some forest with some flowers in a forest, like lining tree and others, so our honeybees will be very happy with nectar. I will be pleased to show you some honeybees in my collection as well. And you may say, if you are not beekeeper, you may say, what's going on here? What's about this plastic? What's about this plastic of with dark color? Yes, this is not a plastic. This is honeybees wax honeybees. So these are cells. This is a piece of honeybee comb. This one, honeybee comb from the nest of honeybees. And these are queen cells. These are like a piece of finger with wax. These are empty queen cells. Queen honeybee is developing inside these big wax capsules, which are called queen cells. They're quite a big one, like half of finger, 1/3 part of finger. So they have a different shape, more sophisticated, less sophisticated, but quite big one, and sometimes beekeeper need to take it off to prevent swarming of honeybees. And in some cases, in a May and June time, when you take it off, queen, really living queen, will coming out of this cell. This is the most beautiful moment for observation for young queens. You take off the queen cell and new queen just hatching immediately because of difference of temperature, because difference of light, and so usually we're sitting inside before swarming. No, what means swarming? More swarming. This is very important process for honeybees, for solitary bees, sometimes for social bees, and especially for social wasps and ants as well. Social insects like ants bees and wasps, they can make swarming, because in honeybee's nest, usually this is now beehive, honeybees are making this kind of queen cell. In what case? Why they do it? Why they do it? If they have old queen in the nest. If old queen in the nest is producing less and less eggs, usually she's becoming not very productive. You know that bee queen I have here in collection, these tiny young queens, not very big one. Of course, I could not take off old queen and kill it. I have here only small young queens, which are not fertilized. So honeybees are making queen cells to breed, to rear new queen, new, more productive queen. It's very important to change the productivity of honeybee colony, and the democracy of honeybees are making the solution to produce a new queen, and this new queen may fight with old queen. Sometimes honeybees producing case of a white democracy. They produce several queen cells because sometimes queen can die, and in many cases some queens can die because of fighting. What kind of fighting? Yes, this is a really serious problem, not for beekeeper but for honeybees queens. When honeybee queen is ready to go out, she's piping, she's making noise. She's not buzzing, not making buzzing noise like zzz. He's making piping, very tiny sounds to say, who's around? Saying, who's around? If she can consider that around several queens inside queen cells, she is not in a hurry to hatch, because old queen or more stronger queen can come and can fight with young queen, which is usually probably weaker. So old queen will survive, or sometimes several young queens can fight as well. Only one will survive. To be correct, to be honest, I have been watching under the microscope queens and their stings to understand how big sting of honeybees. Sting of honeybees on the top of abdomen is smaller. It's smaller than sting of honeybee worker, and it's naturally smaller because they don't need to sting humans, don't need to sting animals. Queen bees do not sting beekeeper because they try to save their life, because they need their life for the honeybees colony. But queens, they're using their sting to fight between them. And what happens later? If they didn't kill each other, young queens can take part of colony members and go swarming. They're using entrance as entrance of a beehive as exit, so they flow in like a river out of beehive. They're going out with part of colony, so they're swarming and they're searching for new place. They're going out. It can be old queen can escape, or can young queen to escape as well, or it can be a mixture. Sometimes swarm may contain fertilized queen and some unfertilized queens as well. Not only one, not always only one. So this is a very important question. How to collect honeybee swarm? Because beekeeper usually can find swarm during 1 hour near the beekeeping farm. So beekeeper need to collect beekeeping swarm and put it in a separate chamber. Otherwise, after half an hour, after 1 hour, or a little bit more, swarm are spreading scouts around. Some scouting honeybees will be flying around beekeeping farm, visiting some places 1 kilometer out, 2 kilometers out, and will be searching for new beehive. If we find suitable place for new hive, for new nest, not hive, or where you can find also empty hive in your neighbor, or maybe swarm trap somewhere on the tree. Some beekeepers are making swarm traps to collect honeybees. So we will be lucky to search for this new empty space, new empty nest. We will come back, scouters, and we will inform colony we have found interesting, suitable nest, suitable chamber, and all swarm will go out and go straight away to a new place for new habitat, for new place where we can find a new place for new nest. So, and we will escape from your apiary. That's why beekeeper must be careful to collect swarm during 1 hour. Or beekeeper must take out these queen cells or make special arrangement, which is much better. Special arrangement in a beehive. But this is for next stories. This is for special stories. Today we are talking about honeybees for beekeepers. I'm trying to show you some wasps, some honeybees, and this is part of collection. I cannot show you online beehive because I'm living in a city and I cannot put beehive on my balcony. It's not safe for my neighbors, not safe for myself, because it's not good to keep honeybees on balcony. Some crazy beekeepers, not beekeepers, some crazy people can keep beehives on balcony. But I can say these people, this person, usually crazy people, if I keep honeybees in the very populated area. Because as I said, first of all, honeybees, they're sometimes aggressive and sometimes they're swarming. So they can spread around, they're flying around. So honeybees can sting. They can sting with purpose. If they attack you, if you want to steal their honey, or they can sting accidentally, just by case. If you just push your finger off a honeybee, or if honeybee can come inside your apartment accidentally, just by case, and someone can touch the honeybee, like a child, some kid can touch it, or some kid can take it in hands, can take it to a finger, to his or her face, and for sure honeybees will sting accidentally without purpose. But nevertheless, it can be very dangerous, because sometimes it can cause even suffocation. No breathing. No breathing can be. This is a cause. If honeybees can sting you in tongue, in throat, in your lips, in your mouth, So that's why honeybees can be dangerous, because they're venomous. They are not poisonous. They have venom. They have venom and they have sting. So they can sting just once and they lose their life because they once time stinging insects. Wasps can sting several times. Why? Because they sting like a needle, more narrow and more sharp needle, without hooks. Sting of honeybees shorter than wasps, but with some hooks. So that's why they can sting, and sting will be attached to the skin of humans or animals, or even sometimes insects. Sometimes honeybees sting another wasps, they sting another honeybees from another beehive. They can sting intruders who want to come to their own nest, to their own beehive, to steal honey. So that's why they are protecting the beehive. And even in many cases, when honeybees stinging another honeybees or wasps, they do not die, because body of insects is very smooth, without citation sometimes. But in some cases, honeybees are dying after stinging. And obviously they will die if sting humans. Be careful about it. So, and here in this collection I have different honeybees. Here I have queens. Here I have bee workers. And here some bees with bigger size. Why we have bigger size? Because these are males. Who are males? Males of honeybees are called drones. Drones, like, you know, now it's a very common name. Drones. Air drones. These bloody air drones. They come into my city evening time, night time, because of Russian-Ukrainian war, unfortunately. But these are honeybee drones. Honeybee males. They're bigger than workers. And you need to know, and beekeepers are knowing usually, that honeybee workers, they are females. They are females. Queens are also females. And workers are males. And what is the difference between workers and queens? There is a huge difference, because queens, these are fertilized females, and sometimes initially unfertilized, but workers, they're females, but they are unfertilized bees. And also queens can lay eggs, and workers sometimes can lay eggs, but queens, they're laying fertilized and unfertilized eggs. So from fertilized eggs can be born queens and workers, and from unfertilized eggs will be born only males or drones. So we have different number of chromosomes, we have different number of genetic material. Only one set of genetic material for drones, and two parts of genetic material for queens and for workers. In some cases, workers, if queen is dying, worker bees in some cases can produce eggs, but only males will be developing from unfertilized eggs of worker bees. This is a biological law, biological feature of honeybees and some other Hymenoptera, some other solitary and social bees, solitary and social wasps. And by the way, you can see here some big insects as well. Here some big insects. These are solitary wasps of another family. They are named mammoth wasps. They belong to different family. This is family Scoliidae. I have them in other cage as well. Today we are talking about social wasps, solitary wasps, social bees and solitary bees. There are a few solitary bees here in this part of this chamber. They are called mason solitary bees or leaf-cutting bees from family Megascolia. An Apis mellifera honeybee belonging to the family Apidae. These big wasps belonging to family Vespidae paper wasps. European hornet. And these very big wasps. They're solitary. They're belonging to family Scoliidae. They're solitary. They are not making colony. They do not live in colony. These are big queens, females, and these are tiny, not tiny, quite a big one. See, big one. You can compare with my finger, and you can compare with honeybee. We're studying honeybees and wasps. Do you know English? Write your questions in English. Today we have Beekeepers English Speaking Club to study biology of honeybees and social bees and solitary bees, to study biology of wasps, solitary wasps and social wasps in English. Yes, these are Megascolia maculata. These are big Megascolia maculata. On smartphone can be visible for sure better than on telephone. These are males and these are big queens. And these are solitary bee Xylocopa. And these are queens, very small one, young queens of honeybees. And here, tiny line of small solitary bees of family Megascolia or mason bees or leaf-cutting bees. They are living in hollow, empty stems of trees and shrubs, like reed. Sometimes this can be Megascolia genus and Osmia genus, very famous solitary bee, which is a great pollinator of different agricultural crops. So today we had story about wasps. Yes, this is a portrait of a wasp. I'm not sure. This is probably a portrait of a European hornet. If you're interested in beekeeping, maybe next time we can be talking about beehives. So beehive, this is a honeybee nest. Can you say honeybees are domesticated species of insect or not? Domesticated insect, domesticated animal or not? How do you think? Write in comments in English. And of course, you can push like if you're watching on smartphone, push like to see your reaction. Honeybees are living in beehive. So have they been domesticated or not? What do you think about them? Are honeybees domesticated animals, domesticated insects or not? This is a question, indeed. I will give answer later. I can say that domesticated animal, this is a silk moth. Silk moth which is producing silk, which are making cocoons, silky cocoons in China, in Japan, in India, in Southeast Asia. Silky cocoons for silk production, very ancient tradition to produce natural silk. Now, this natural silk is removed usually, relocated by artificial plastic silk. But natural silk is very expensive. In China, in Japan, especially in Japan for sure. But it's possible to breed silk moth in captivity. And I can show you silk cocoons. Yesterday I showed them. I showed the silk cocoons which were bred at home, in at-home laboratory. And these are silk cocoons of silk moth. You see with holes because silk moth just hatched from cocoons. They can be yellow color, white color, sometimes genetically modified silk moth, Japanese silk moth and Chinese silk moth. They have a pink color, unique pink color of silk cocoons. So that's silky and even bluish color cocoon. So very much unique one. They're very light, but pretty strong. They're very hard. It's hard to push them. It's quite hard to destroy them. So they contain quite a lot of silk. This is a genetical modification of them to produce more and more silk. Because genetically modified silk moths, they produce 50% more silk than ordinary silk moths. So productivity is very important. And this is one domesticated insect because moths which are hatching out of cocoons, they are not able to fly. They're flightless. They can try to fly, but they do not fly. They can try to live outside apartment, but they will not survive because they cannot fly. Just birds will eat them quite easily and will eat full population for sure. That's why this species, which is bred in captivity for several thousand years in China, as we know from history, maybe this is true, hopefully. This species lost ability to fly and can be developing only on leaves of plants in laboratory. Anyway, what's about our insect? So this is a story about bees and about moths. So if somebody from Beekeepers are watching us, write in comments writing your questions. Do you have your own, or what type of beehives do you have? This picture is from very old, more than 100 years old publication, just for fun, just for curiosity. This is just one of the first Langstroth beehives. What kind of beehive do you have in your apiary? Today we have English-speaking Beekeepers Club for wider audience, for Ukrainian audience, for neighboring audience, for English-speaking audience, for people who want to try to listen and understand English language, and who want to improve English speaking and English listening skills, and maybe English writing skills. So if someone is coming from non-English community, write your question in English, like vultures writing a question in English. That's very good, because questions are important for communication. If you write questions, interesting one, we can communicate, we can discuss it, and you can understand. And today I was trying to be not very fast in my speech, to be better understood. I was trying to speak more slowly, to be better understood, like very slow tape recorder. You know why I'm talking about tape recorder? Because I heard this anecdote about English-speaking teacher, which was teacher in China. In some cases, Chinese schools were inviting not Chinese teachers, but English-speaking teachers. And they say, we not always can understand them, but they say, these English-speaking teachers were like native tape recorders. We're listening to them and we're enjoying their speeches. Maybe it's difficult to understand that speaking like tape recorders. So, because they're paid for their tape recording speeches. I'm not paid for this speech. If you are not my sponsor, if you want to pay for my speech here and now, you can visit my Patreon page. The link down the description of my video. If you want to be my sponsor, you can find the button, the special place on the first page of my channel where it's written, do you want to be sponsor? If you want to be sponsor, press on this button to be sponsor and make your donation. Your kind donation for my speeches, for my stories, will be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much in advance. And did you recognize here big wasps? Yes, these are big paper wasps, European hornets. And here some very fat, rounded bees. Who are them? I can put it close distance. Why they're so surprisingly fat, like a balls? Because these are Apidae family, and these are social bees. To be precise, these are bumblebees. These are bumblebees. This is a line of mason bees, or leaf cutting bees. This is a line of bumblebees. This is a line of hornets. Queen hornet, drone hornet, this one, with long antennae, and with smaller worker hornets. And these are solitary wasps of family, not Sphexidae, but Scoliidae. English name, mammoth wasps. Mammoth, you know, mammoth, this is a big ancient elephant. Mammoth, big ancient elephant. So when we have this name, because they're huge, you can see they're huge. They're even bigger than hornets, for sure. They're not so slender like hornets. They're bigger than hornets, these mammoth wasps. And these are hornet paper wasps. And these are mammoth wasps. You can find them, you can see them in the beginning of summer season, in end of May or beginning of June. I have recorded them sometimes. Even you can see on my channel very famous, very short clip when this funny queen mammoth wasp stinging me in my finger. Usually this mammoth wasp does not sting, usually, if you know behavior, usually does not sting. But this wasp didn't know the rule. So usually I'm taking the wasp, mammoth wasp, by my fingers, and she does not sting because she is careful about her life. But this wasp was not so careful, and she stung me pretty painfully in my finger. So I got a pain, I got a wound for 3-4 days, and I was really worried about it because I did not expect. So that's why you must be very careful with wasps, with all type of wasps. Solitary wasps, small wasps, because even small wasps can sting. Small honeybees can sting as well. And you must be very careful about big hornets, which can sting you painfully and several times. If you are not careful, if you do not worry about your protection jacket, you do not made your special beekeeping equipment for self-protection. Otherwise, hornets will sting you, and it will be really painful experience, to be sure. And I'm not joking. Even some small wasps stinging very painfully, but big hornets stinging very painfully. But nevertheless, I had my equipment, and I have not been stung no once by hornets, by the way, but by small paper wasps, Vespa. I have been stung. That's right. They are smaller and they are very curious. They are very fast. They are flying very fast. So when they attack it immediately and unexpectedly, even you expect to run very quickly, they can follow you and can sting you quite painfully. That's why be careful about bees, be careful about wasps, and try to learn English. Start to learn English with your vocabulary, your dictionary. Maybe if you are in Ukraine, you can use opportunity to buy English manual to learn English. And also you can buy, for example, this book, which is named English-Ukrainian Explanatory Dictionary of Beekeeping Terminology. This book was published recently, last year, by Mykola Gornich. And here, in 2 languages, in Ukrainian and in English, there are 2 both languages, descriptions of beekeeping terminology about bees, about beehives, about beekeeping equipment in Ukrainian and in English. So I will be using this book to tell you more stories about beekeeping terminology in my next lessons, if it will be interesting for you. Maybe more people will come to our streams in weekend time, because daytime usually not many people are watching videos, but on weekend more people are just relaxed and scrolling smartphone and can find someone unusual like me who is speaking about some unusual subject like wasps, like honeybees, like beautiful hornets. So that's why if you are from Ukraine, write your comments. I can give you the link of Mykola Gornich webpage. You can find this book. You can order this book from his webpage. You can send a message to his email. He will kindly send you the copy of this book of English Ukrainian terminology of beekeeping terminology. Explanatory dictionary of beekeeping terms. English Ukrainian explanatory dictionary. Not very short translation, just a couple of words, but sometimes with quite a long explanation about different terminology. I wanted to cite it. Finally, I can cite it here. For example, you know what is a bee suit? This is a clothes for beekeepers. What is bee sting? This is a sting of honeybee, or wasp sting. This is just transformed ovipositor of honeybee or solitary bee or wasps. And for example, about terminology, different like terminology like Carniolan bee, Carnica bee, Caucasian bees, Serrana bees, cleaning bees, cocoa bees, female bees, drone bee, you know, drone bee, I've been talking about it. House bee, humblebee, or bumblebee. Bumblebee is the same. Talon bee, long glossus bee, male bee or drone, mason bee, I was talking about it. Mother bee, this is a queen bee. Nurse bee, which is taking care about other bees. So this is a case working professions of different honeybees. Package bees, scout bees, rock bees, solitary bees, and many other interesting terminology names, which are cited here in this English Ukrainian explanatory dictionary of beekeeping terms. Write in comments if you need this book. I give you the link how you can order it from the author, which is located and living now in Ukraine, and he's devoted beekeeper Mykola Gornich. He was very kind to send me this book, and so he will be happy to share his knowledge and his books with you as well. You can buy this book from him, sending him email or just a message. So that was a story for today about honeybees, about bumblebees, about hornets, about solitary bees and social bees. I hope so it was interesting and entertaining for you. If it was so, press like, show your emotions, press like, send smile, show your emotions. I cannot see just smiles. I cannot see just sun pictures in chat. Why not? Send me smile, send me like. And don't forget to subscribe if you visit my channel first time. Hope to see you in next stream. Next stream will be coming the sooner, the better. Best wishes to Ukrainian beekeepers. Best wishes to all devoted beekeepers all around the world. If you want to join our Beekeepers English Speaking Club, visit my channel, subscribe to my channel, and I will continue your story to tell you the story, to tell you different interesting lectures about honeybees, about solitary bees, about bumblebees, about hornets, about solitary wasps, about social wasps for beekeepers in Ukraine and other countries. See you soon in my next streams. Good luck. Bye-bye.